Welcome back for another episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go. Find us on facebook.com/superfunpodcast, twitter.com/superfunpodcast, patreon.com/superfunpodcast, Instagram @superfunpodcastgo, iTunes @superfunpodcastgo. Thanks and enjoy the show.
Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go! I will be your host tonight, Steve. Of course, you knew that. To my left, I have Ralph.
Dante.
Across the table, I have Clark.
Devil never cries.
And to my right, I have Harry.
Where did that plane come from?
It was.
Oh God! It shot out of the basement and then flew.
It was in a level.
Well, it was it was in one of the earlier.
It just fell into the cave.
Kaboom!
Yeah, because it was above the.
Yeah, it's like a World War I era biplane that fell through stone. It's fine. We'll fly it right out.
Yeah,
just shoot the machine
absolutely.
gun.
Why not?
Wow, you guys were like not shocked when I said that. All right.
Nope.
Like, oh yeah, no, that shit always happens.
Welcome to Devil May Cry. Only when it cuts onions. All right.
I don't like it. Let's restart it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's just go. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it felt flat.
All right. Well, let's get some initial impressions. Who is going to start? I'm just going to point at you, Clark. Initial impressions.
Harry, go ahead. No, I'm kidding. My initial impressions of the game, I always thought it was like a cool series. I realized when I beat this one this time that I had never beaten it before.
Oh.
Which
sounds like a personal problem.
Which changes my opinion of this game.
Even when you were a teenager?
Drastically.
Like you were 14,
experimenting
15,
and stuff.
experimenting?
No, nope.
Never beat Devil May Cry. Okay.
I never beat Devil May Cry.
Okay.
Harry, what you got?
So I've played every single game in the series. I actually think I own every single game in the series as well.
All right, show off.
Wow. Well done, gentlemen.
I have a lot of great memories from most of the Devil May Cry games, but this one seemed to have slunked off of the radar.
Slunked, you say?
Oh.
Slinked.
Can you use that in a
Slinkety
sentence?
slunk.
Yeah, can you use that in a different sentence?
It's skunked, you say?
Country of origin.
No, the only thing I really remember from this game is the hooded witches with like the scissors. That was the only thing I ever remembered from this game.
Oh, the seamstress.
Is that?
No.
No, maybe that was the name. I don't know.
It actually reminded me of Clock Tower. Or is that?
Oh, yeah.
I never played Clock Tower.
Scissorman, Clock Tower?
Clock Tower 3. We
Scissor
need
Man.
to throw that into the mix at some point.
Oh, sure.
Don't throw it too hard; it might break.
I think this franchise offers a lot of good. I just don't think the first one really outshines the later titles in the series.
Not at all. Not at all. This is one that I think it builds upon. It gets better and better as the sequels go on.
It's more of the foundation.
Yeah, I agree.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Introduction to characters and how ridiculous it's going to get.
Yeah. Ralph?
More ridiculous? Okay, so I knew of Devil May Cry's existence and the franchise's existence, but I never played it, never owned it. The most I knew about was their reboot that they did with the redesign of Dante.
DMC,
thank you. Yeah, this is my first time playing it. This type of game, like I wouldn't call it a button masher because you obviously have combos, but this kind of game is not really in my wheelhouse, and I don't really know why. Played it, there's enjoyment I got out of it, but it wasn't my thing.
Well, I'm taken back to I remember beating this game once or twice. I never owned it. I only borrowed it, but then it was
Borrowed it and beat it.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like, cool, got it. I'm done.
What kind of laugh was that?
It was like that. So this was actually one of the games that I put up for vote, which got in because I just thought it would be fun to kind of revisit that.
Boo. Nah, fuck you guys. It wasn't that bad.
Just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
No, but I did like playing it again, but now I was looking at it from a different view, I guess, just because I played so much more since that came out. But there'll be more that we get into within this episode.
Yeah, before we get into it, though, I'm not going to be super negative on this game. I'm going to be the guy supporting it for the most part.
I didn't mean to come across as too negative. I mean, I enjoyed it.
I know.
I
I didn't want listeners coming in thinking this is going to be an awful episode.
Devil May Bash.
Oh no, I'm not gonna be bashing too much of it, but there's definitely some shit to bash here.
I'm bashing all of it. Fuck you guys.
Fair
I'm
enough.
just kidding.
All right, that's fine.
That's
Oh
where
wow,
we
very
end the
passive.
chapter.
All right, so let's get into some game development.
Game development.
This game was actually originally when it was first designed, it was meant to be Resident Evil 4. When they were going through the design of it, they started to realize that the vision of what they wanted for Resident Evil 4 and what this game was becoming was a little too far off, and the director of the game actually pulled the rest of the design team aside and was like, hey, we need to separate these two games. We all need to kind of rally and tell Capcom, like, hey, this needs to be a separate game. Resident Evil 4 needs to be something else. They do share some of the same code and the same design ideas.
The sound effects.
Yeah.
You definitely pick up on
Oh,
that.
Yeah, for sure.
Even like the castle, a little bit of aesthetics. No.
Kind of. I mean, what? So,
the same angles
so
or anything.
the major changes that they did obviously is the gameplay, but also they had to rework the entire story. Some of the level design, you can see the comparisons for sure.
Are you sure we weren't fighting Las Plagas in this game?
No Las Plagas.
Okay.
Although the nobodies, those were kind of Resident Evil-y to me, anyway.
Oh, you mean the dudes with like 3 arms, and then after you beat them up a little bit, they put a mask on? Those guys?
Yes,
Oh.
those guys.
Fuck those things.
Mm.
Pain in the ass.
They're the highest graded enemy in the game that is not a boss
Highest graded?
for toughness,
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree to that.
They
you have to smack them around a lot to kill them.
and they deal the most damage.
Yeah. So when they were early in development, the director actually took the team to Spain to check out different castles, just to get a little bit of research design. I thought that was kind of interesting.
That's a good
They
job,
actually
Kurt.
went
That's pretty
on
cool.
site to look at some of these castles for the development.
And where's Resident Evil 4 set?
I thought it was in South America.
Spain, actually.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, I saw what you did.
Martin.
Are you sure?
Stranger, what are you buying?
I thought it was like Venezuela or something
What are
like
you
that.
selling?
I am very sure that Resident Evil 4 begins in Spain. You can fact check me on that.
Or Argentina.
Argentina.
It was Europe.
Dead silence.
It was
Yeah.
Europe. There are no stone castles in South America.
I think it's also important to note that this game was launched in 2001. What month was that, Ralph?
I think it was October 16th.
October 16th, 2001.
Right in time for Halloween.
Ooh.
Oh, good timing.
Great timing.
Ooh.
They developed that game right on time.
They say the devil's in the details.
Oh my God. That's so bad that's going to make me cry. I might.
You may. You devil, you.
You would never cry. You never may. Never mind.
I actually really like that. You never may. Never mind.
Devil, never mind.
That's how I'm rating this game. Kidding.
Well, that wraps up game development.
Yeah, I think that wraps up
Yeah.
game development.
Think that wraps
Yeah.
up game development.
I think that wraps up game development. So let's talk about some story.
Story.
What story?
No, I
No,
think
there's a little bit
Okay.
of story in this.
so one thing that jumps out at me right away.
Was the motorcycle coming through the wall? What was very rude. How dare you drive that into my place of establishment? She probably never even paid for it.
I mean, that just asks questions on who's doing the fuck it.
Who's doing the what?
What, Harry?
Like, just wondering, in this universe, like, are the architects not good at their jobs to just design homes that you can just drive motorcycles through?
So
Yeah.
one thing I will point out is
They don't use
this
doors.
game and the style of it came out around the Matrix.
Oh,
As
from the
well.
first
And
couple
yeah.
camera angles, I was like, wait a minute, she's pretty much Trinity, and she just drove a motorcycle
Yep,
through.
there's a lot of design
the-
there that you can see
Mm.
the similarities.
No,
Trench coats and black leather, everything's leather and
You know what's really weird about their whole dynamic is like, oh, you remind me of my mother, and it's like, what the what?
yeah.
No, you look exactly
Oh,
like my
is that what he said?
mom.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You look just like my mom.
I don't know if they ever actually kiss. Do they kiss?
You're right, they don't.
They hug at one point.
I'm embellishing.
I will say that love story that developed between Trish and Dante, I feel like it was very forced.
Oh my
Definitely.
God, yeah,
Yeah.
because there's no substance
I agree.
to that at
and then just
all.
all of a sudden he's like, Trish! Like, it just...
Well, it all started with her just literally blasting through his window on a motorcycle. That's how they first meet. And then by the end of it, he's a weepy little bitch because he misses mom.
Oh,
He's a
something there.
weepy little
symbolism.
bitch.
Yeah.
He's a weepy little bitch with an Oedipus complex.
Who really likes getting swords thrust through his sternum.
Yeah, he's like really into it. He's super into it.
Well, once it happened the first time, he's like, that was pretty good. Maybe I'll try this again.
That had a good effect.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that for a minute. So I'm playing this game. I've never watched any of the cutscenes, never played it before, and he just like takes this sword in stride through the chest, and I'm like, what is he? What is he not? What is his power? What are his strengths? Like, there is no. I mean, we flesh out that he's the son of Sparta later, but I don't really know what that means. Like, it's not clearly defined and intentionally vague.
I don't think they really clear it up until later in the series, but what I've learned is that his father was a devil, and his mother... Yeah, Sparta. His mother was an angel, and he was the offspring of those two. That's why he has these powers of
Really?
good...
I thought she was a human.
No, well, they might portray it that way in this game. But they didn't really get into her backstory. It was all Sparta this, Sparta that.
Yeah,
But,
because he said he's half human, half demon in this game.
okay.
You shouldn't have skipped the cutscenes this time. That was almost a sentence. You shouldn't have skipped the cutscenes this time.
I didn't skip any cutscenes.
Yeah, okay.
I accidentally did
maybe-
a couple times.
Did you?
Oops.
You didn't miss anything.
You missed those classic line deliveries from Dante.
Oh, I still caught a few of them. So if anything, I probably did do myself a favor accidentally clicking a button.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they retcon that with DMC, but that was...
Well, DMC's a reboot,
I know that.
a complete reboot.
But, I mean, they don't even mention his brother in this game. Although I feel like they somewhat hinted at it with the boss Nero. He had this, like, blue aesthetic to him, and that was always Virgil's. I know, they don't really mention a lot of that.
Well,
Who's
no, there
Nero?
were-
Hold on. Who's
They-
Nero?
Nero was that... I thought it was the demon boss that had the sword.
You mean the one that he calls Virgil at the end?
That's Virgil. Yeah, that's
Oh,
his
is that
brother.
Virgil?
Yeah,
that is Virgil.
Okay, I
that's
missed-
why,
I missed where
that's
he
why he
called it.
drops the pendant,
Okay.
and
His,
then he
like-
makes like the whole
Yeah,
pendant.
yeah, no, because he's like a half of
Yeah.
like the
Okay.
the two offspring.
And then they did the
Hold
kind
on,
of...
I'm going to throw this out there. You know a lot about Devil May Cry, and you're putting too much of the reboot into this.
Yeah, no, I'm trying not to, but
Well, because the reboot's different. It's not the same. It's not the same Dante. It's not the
Yeah.
same story.
got it.
They don't like retcon anything. I think she's actually a human through the first 4,
Okay.
and then they changed it in that because he has angel powers in DMC, doesn't he?
Weapons. But
Yeah, but like
Okay.
yeah. All right, just to clarify,
okay.
No, because then what is his name before that? It's like
Tony Redglaive.
no, his brother Virgil. Virgil's character in this game has a different name that he goes by for all of his fights.
I thought it was Nero, if I'm not mistaken. That's where I got that.
Oh, I thought Nero was in the 4th game.
I think...
No,
it's-
Virgil's in the 4th game. Virgil as a human, he's in. The
So
4th game.
as Nero, you fight Virgil. Nero is the name of the main character in the 4th one, the one with the fist.
oh
that you
shit,
can-
you're right.
Yeah, that's Nero. I'm pretty sure it's just the Knight of Sparta is Virgil.
Oh, I could have sworn when.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, Harry. He does go by. It's something like that because it translates to something angel in Spanish.
I thought it was like Mondagello or something like that was
Nilo
the guy's
and
name.
Anglo, or
Is the name of what?
that's the name of like the shadow demon. Like when he initially comes out of the mirror, who ends up
Being Virgil.
being Virgil.
Right.
Which is the knight with the sword.
Right. That you fight 3 times.
Yeah, it's
And
It's
then his final
Anglio?
form.
it's yeah,
Nello
it's
Angelo.
Nello
Angelo.
Nello.
So you're close with Nero.
Okay, that's
No,
Yeah.
Angela. Okay.
okay.
I know I had it somewhere what they actually translated to, but I forget. Because then they do have the part in the cutscene where you can hear like the children laughing, and it sounds like him with his brother when he's a kid when he has the pendant. So that's when it's like, oh, holy shit, it's his brother.
We put it
Yeah.
together, right?
It's like the last remnants of his brother
Yeah,
until later.
I did feel that the story sort of took a backseat, and it had a very, to me at least, a very arcadey feel to it, and it's probably by design. Now that I'm reflecting on it, it almost kind of reminds me of House of the Dead.
I
the
was
way
going to
you
say that.
So like you,
Gee.
the way that you like get to this castle and then like Trish is just like, oh, we have to get to the top, and she's gone, and then it's like, okay,
Yeah, why can't Dante do that?
yeah,
Yeah.
like he can like wall jump or whatever. Like, okay, so that's it. She's gone. Like Dante doesn't really see her again until she goes turncoat. Like 18 levels later. It just the very first like beat of gameplay just seemed a little off, and then things started to get moving.
Yeah. I will say I blew through the first 15 missions. Like, I think that the speed is just insane in this game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it can be.
yeah.
I mean, there's some where it's like, oh, I had to spend 13 to 14 minutes on this mission. That's kind of a long.
That's the longer,
yeah.
one of the longer ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there were a few times when it was just like, I can't find where the hell I'm going, so it takes a little longer. But the story did feel pretty forced. Like, it was just kind of thrown in almost like it was an afterthought. Like, there wasn't too much into it. I haven't played the other Devil May Cry, so I don't know how they tied everything in. From what it sounds like they upped their game on the story a little bit. And where you're saying this was more of kind of like the foundation of like, just to get what you need to know in place for them to build off of that and make more.
There's definitely some really interesting story that happens in some of the later games for sure. I really liked 4 personally. What you see in this game, I think, is a product of the fact that they had a deadline to meet. They started creating Resident Evil 4, then they made this game from half of that, and I think they had all these set pieces already ready to go, and they had to rework a story into it. But it made a classic franchise.
Yeah, that's true.
And I can appreciate it for that. I mean, there are a lot of games that I appreciate some like corny storyline or corny writing even, as long as it has like some purpose, which
Gotcha.
I'll get into in gameplay because this is a really fun game to play.
But there are some real corny moments in it.
Real corny.
Oh, no,
moments.
I think a big part of the plot too is everything. I mean, literally, almost everything in this game is over the top.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
like the
absolutely.
ridiculous
Oh, yeah.
lines, the plot in general, the quips that he says right before he's about to like finally kill a boss.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I
the
think
w-
it's all supposed to be like I'm just
One-liners
this
and-
unstoppable badass, just like humor in
Yep.
this game, like not to be taken too serious. I think they nailed. Like if that was the feel they were going for, I think they nailed it.
Absolutely.
Well said.
Yeah, if they're trying to have like this like unstoppable badass, like you said, just throwing out one-liners and just going through these awesome set pieces just over and over and over again to just kill the big bad at the end, perfect.
Yeah.
If that's what they were going for. And I really think that's what they were going for with this. Not necessarily as maybe as corny as it was, and I think that actually has something to do with more of the voice acting. This could be acted in a different way that would be maybe more meaningful.
That's true.
But
I think there'd be a diminishment in this case, though. I could be wrong. Just like the over the top nature of it, it's almost like it suits it.
yeah, I mean, there's some badly delivered lines though. I feel
True.
anyway. But I think if they were delivered in a different way, it could be different.
You're not
going
going to turn Samurai Cop into Shakespeare. You know what I mean? Like you can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like if Dante's like goofy line at the end where he's like I should have been the one to fill your soul with light. If his voice didn't like crack while he says that, I wouldn't have laughed as hard as I did. So
Right. Absolutely.
you know, like
absolutely.
for me, like the fact that it is a little campy doesn't harm it.
Getting a little deeper into the plot. Two things I want to touch on. Number one, so Trish was kind of under the control of Mundus, or
She was working for him.
yeah, working for him, like as
Right.
like a pawn. She was basically in the beginning of the plot to lure him to that castle,
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
Dude, take
Which-
the dirty jobs. Call me Mike Rowe, bitch.
Do you take the dirty?
I mean, if
job?
you see that was ultimately Mundus's downfall.
right
What was he to achieve by bringing Dante to that castle?
to kill
What's the motive?
To kill the son of Sparta.
Yeah, to kill the son of Sparta, his greatest enemy.
So
It would end the bloodline pretty much.
So was this like more of a vengeance story than anything?
It's more of like
a two-pronged.
I
vengeance.
won.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I beat your father in one-on-one combat, and I need to kill you so that way there is no challenge to me. Because he wanted to take over the world too. He wanted to bring his darkness out into the world, I believe is how he put it. He knew that Dante was the only person that would stop him because of how epic apparently his battles were with Sparta.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if it was in the writing or maybe I just missed it. A lot of the motivations behind Mundus definitely eluded me.
I can see that.
I pretty much just picked up, I'm evil, I want a lot of power.
Twirl my mustache.
End of story. That's pretty much what I got out of him. He's just a dick. I mean, it was kind of badass when he blew up that fucking griffin. And it's like, oh, give me a little bit more power. I can take him out. And he's like, nah, kid, you fucked up. And then just blows him up. And that's pretty much it.
We'll get into it later, but I do like how the animal bosses have like human voices. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just overall going through the game, Mundus summons you to this castle, shows that Trish betrayed you at some point. There's a big turning and love story that goes on. Very, very mild, I will say.
it's not a big love story. It's sort of like a
Yeah. A confusing love story. Why does it even exist love story?
right.
And then Mundus, I just keep wanting to call him Mundus.
Mundus.
So he just keeps throwing minions to try to stop Dante along the way, and then Dante defeats Mundus, and then they fly away on a World War I
Biplane.
That's basically it. I was waiting after the credits for maybe like an end cutscene. I didn't catch anything as well. It was just there was a cutscene right before the credits where they're talking about taking on another job and having it done.
So
And
clear.
Oh my God, I think that
It's beautiful. It's like my soul is healed.
Something.
I think one of the funniest things that Trish says in the entire game is she's talking to him while he's flying the plane, and she's like, yeah, and your new sidekick. Like, she's just like, wow, you really just shoveled your way into that fucking role. Like,
It's like, you're not on the payroll. Who the fuck are you?
yeah, bitch, the only abilities I've seen from you is you can jump really high and you can shoot a laser that pretty much makes you fatigued, and you shot it at me. Why are you my sidekick?
Your resume is not looking that good.
Yeah, maybe Dante was just really lonely. Like, why would he trust this woman with anything?
Because she looks like his mom.
Oh, you're right.
yeah,
You're right.
that's dark subplot right there, huh?
It's an Oedipus complex.
Yeah.
And that revealing top she wears through the whole game.
Mhm.
That's why.
It has like a lightning bolt zigzag down her chest.
Just like Mom used to have.
And
just like mom used to wear.
do you have any posters of her in your room when you were a kid, Steve?
Like Ralph
All of
always
them.
goes back
All
to
of
this shit on Steve.
Always. He always loves that. Yeah. All over. Right next
Yeah,
to
Ralph
my...
talks about your penis, Harry, and he wants to really know what posters Steve had in his thing.
Ralph, you know what'd be fucking hilarious?
What?
If you put together like a photo album of all these chicks from games that we've talked about, just give it to Steve. Here you go.
That'd be
This is
amazing.
my birthday is in a month and a half.
Ah!
There you go.
Okay. I got really excited.
I know you did.
That's what he's hoping Steve will sound like when he hands it to him. Just like,
Oh, the pages are stuck. I'm sorry, Ralph.
I almost bought a Silent Hill walkthrough and glued pages and gave it to you.
oh my God.
You're such a dick.
Silent
I love it.
Hill.
Silent.
So I was just thinking we didn't really do like a full-on like brief recap of the story.
Well, that's
Like,
what I was trying to do.
Dante, good. Trish, bad. Mundus, evil. Go to castle. Defeat. Like, I don't know.
Trish isn't bad. She's conflicted.
She's got issues. She's trying to work some
It's
stuff
so
out.
hot when they're
Well,
conflicted.
well, Jesus Christ. Wow, Ralph.
Ralph likes some problematic.
Yeah.
You'll-
Put up a little bit of fight.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I meant. That is not what I meant.
I don't know if I would say conflicted. I think, and this again goes to the weird writing, but she's like, I'm going to be evil. I'm going to be evil. I'm going to be evil. I love Dante after I shot him full of electricity.
Finish that sentence.
Yeah, like
Electricity. I like electricity. I said electricity.
Shot him full of
Jism.
electricity.
She shot him
She shot him.
full of jism.
Those devils, man.
Dick
She's
girls.
a squirter.
Oh. She's a squirt.
What did
All
you,
this
wait,
is
what?
I said dick girls.
Chicks with dicks.
Chicks and other things on Ralph's search history.
Oh yeah, that's all me.
Oh, how many lists are you on?
This
7.
one, CIA.
Is
A
that it?
few more after we was talking about
What?
they're putting up a little bit of struggle.
That is not what I said.
I honestly don't think there's a ton to talk here about story. I mean, it's pretty much Trish gets Dante to come to this castle. She pretty much leaves him alone until the end. he figures out that he's fighting his brother, and then he takes on Mundus, who is the guy behind the scenes of everything, is who Trish is like worshiping or whatever. I think they actually use the word worship.
He created her.
Oh yeah, he created her.
For a while there, I was thinking maybe she was like his long-lost sister or something, and they were going to get into that, but...
They were going to get into
No,
it.
not that.
Oh.
Get into what?
Each
I mean, in the
other's
story,
list.
they were going to be like... No.
another one.
Another one.
Just keep stacking up.
DJ Khaled!
Or he was like, you look just like my mother. I was like, maybe it is his mother, and she's been like resurrected or something. Like I thought that was going to be explored, or it was going to be shed at the end of the game.
Yeah. Well, then he gets a new brother. See what I did?
Dicks with chicks.
And
Oh.
Dicks with chicks.
Dicks with chicks.
Oops.
and then he gets a new brother and a son, a brusin.
A brusin.
So let's move on to the gameplay.
Let's move on to gameplay.
Gameplay it is, boys.
Gameplay.
I had fun playing this game.
It was fun. I really like being able to zone out and just kind of hack and slash through a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, me too. And honestly, this is one of the first games that are kind of like this, like where it's third-person fixed camera, crazy.
The fixed camera and the platforming. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was bad.
The jumping mechanism sucked.
Yeah.
In this, there's so many times. What?
That's cool. I was done. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Now I feel bad.
Oh, why don't you guys just kiss and rub each other's vaginas while you're at it?
I have a hairy snatch.
They don't have vaginas.
Jesus Christ. Please
Chicks
leave that
with
in.
dicks.
Whoever's editing this, can you leave that in where Harry just said he has a hairy snatch?
I will say that once I unlock, because I know you unlock multiple weapons in the game, which I think they're all cool and fun to use in their own manner.
I know where you're going with this.
I did not use the Ifrit as much as was it Alistair?
Alistair.
Alistair.
Mhm.
I got the Alistair, started sinking all my gems into that, because you actually really have to watch how much you're spending were they blood points or blood souls or
The
Red
orbs.
orbs.
Red orbs.
red
red
orbs.
orbs,
Okay, we'll just
yeah.
call them red orbs.
No, that's what they're called. Red orbs.
Red orbs.
Blood souls.
So I don't know, when you start investing these points into a weapon, you can't max all your weapons. You just don't get enough currency.
I damn near came close to it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Lots of bravos and superiors or whatever over here.
Stylishes.
Stylish.
Yes. It will also, there's definitely ways that you can like farm stuff.
Well, did you guys find at least sticking to a certain combination of weapons?
I didn't use Ifrit at all. I mostly used Alistair, and then I used the Sword of Sparta. Once I got that, I stopped using like anything else, and you don't have to put blood points into that.
True.
You just get like amazing combos with it.
I actually found myself switching back and forth between Alistair and Ifrit.
Really?
That's what I was gonna say. I did like a balanced. I put my points into them and balanced them both.
Yeah, I saw some cool abilities that I wanted to be able to use, so I did. And then finding out that, using different weapons is more effective against certain enemies than it is others was something that, kind of led into that too. And I did switch up for the guns, kind of the same thing. So if I knew I was running through an area where there was a bunch of the marionettes, I had the shotgun, so I can run down, blup, get down, blup, get down. But when
Blup,
it came
get down. Blup,
when it
get
came
down.
to fighting
Blup, get down.
Griffon, I think was the name, the giant bird.
Griffon?
Griffon.
I was using the handguns. I would just go devil mode and just pop, 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 start firing them off randomly. So I actually switched it up a good little bit.
Okay.
After I got the shotgun, I really didn't go back to the what do they call them?
Ebony and Ivory.
Ebony and Ivory. Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't really go back to the pistols very much.
Yeah.
The grenade launcher and the shotgun were my two for ranged attacks.
Yeah.
Did you guys get the alien
Nightmare
pulse?
Beta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't use it, but I got it.
I used it. It's okay. I think it's kind of cool that it is a weapon based off of one of the bosses.
Nightmare.
Which was kind of a pain in the ass.
Almost a nightmare.
Yeah.
Almost. I don't know. Some of the bosses were a real pain in the ass. Some of them weren't too difficult to get through, or at least if you found a thing that worked well for you. I know, like with I forget what the spider name's called.
Oh, God.
Clark and I had a playthrough of that spider.
Yeah, that fucking
Jesus.
sucked.
I watched you guys do that actually.
I was a pain. Can I say? So the remake that you did, or what
The
is it?
HD remake.
HD remake. I feel like normal difficulty was harder on that than on the PlayStation 2 copy.
Yeah, it's because the easy is essentially what normal was on the original PlayStation 2.
Oh, really?
Normal on this was like their hard, and they added the hard mode in this, which is actually like the next level.
Dante must die mode.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I don't know. I picked up on that immediately because I was like, oh crap, I can't change the difficulty. Fuck. Oh, this isn't as bad as I was expecting.
Absolutely.
I killed the spider after 3 tries.
Yeah.
Just going into it. So
So you guys shared your HD playthrough then, right?
No, I started over again on the PS2.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Yeah, with the snowstorm, which kind of like screwed everything up. Because I was going to try to come over like earlier this week to finish it off. That sounded wrong.
Finish me off, not at all.
I didn't say it.
All week? Damn.
Yeah, so I mean, like earlier this week, I was going to go over to Harry's house so he could finish me off. And
Finish the job.
finish that job. No, we were gonna beat the game together, and we got like an hour and a half into it, and then just like snow, bullshit, random scheduling, the fact that we live like 45 minutes away from each other just kind of fell apart.
They
So
never saw each other again.
never
Trauma.
saw each other again. Pretty much, what was that, like Tuesday night? I was like, Harry, this isn't gonna happen.
Steve, did you play the HD remake?
I
Yes.
believe yes, because I played on PlayStation Now.
Oh, okay.
They had that up, or they actually had the entire series on there. But yes, it is the one that was remastered to be 720p.
I saw you playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh
Now, does anybody have any serious gripes with the underwater levels?
God, I want to talk about how that's like,
That was atrocious.
it was bad.
It was
honestly, any time that you weren't standing there holding your sword was bad. The flight at the end, like that was terrible.
Oh, that was such a pain in the
Swimming
ass.
and flying the plane at the end. At one point, I realized that I had enough health that I was probably going to get out of the tunnel, so I set my controller down. Was like, fuck it, if I die, I fucking die, and I'll redo it. But
I did something similar where I just kept hitting shoot.
Yeah.
Where I didn't
You're
make
basically
any,
shooting all the pillars.
I didn't make any evasive maneuvers, and I just shot whatever was there. And yeah, I could hit a couple times, but I wasn't even out of the mini health bar when I got out of the whole thing, out of the level.
I just set my controller down, and I made it out with half health.
You went and made a sandwich, came back, it's all the credits.
It probably would have been
Pretty much.
very frustrating on a harder difficulty.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
Because that could be this is the last stepping stone to beating this game on hard difficulty.
And then
And I
it's like,
can't do it because of these fucking pillars.
Fuck you.
That should be like a
pillar.
Yeah, that shit was bad. And
It was unnecessary to the game, too.
it was very unnecessary, and smartly enough, in at least my playthroughs with it, that kind of shit has not come back.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. When I play Devil May Cry, I want to fly World War I era boat biplane.
Isn't that what the
under
game's
a
about?
castle, through caverns. I mean, of course.
Through caverns and a shipwreck?
General disclaimer, an open letter to video game design. In the very final level of any game, do not throw a brand new
Concept.
mechanic or camera angle or gameplay style at the last second.
Yeah, only terrible games do that, like Metal Gear Solid.
I'm going to castrate you.
So many hateful eyes.
Clark, hold him down and get the knife.
Yep. All right.
What's this box here? It's okay, Harry.
No, fuck you.
You take it
That's
back.
that's a very good example.
But
Wait,
no, the underwater levels were awful. I dread
Hold on.
them.
Wait a minute. What mechanic at the end? I forget.
Of what?
Of Metal Gear?
The Jeep.
The
Yeah,
Jeep,
we're in-
when you're driving.
Doing the getaway and you're shooting the machine gun.
Oh yeah, sorry. That sucked.
Yeah.
But you said it's a piece of shit game, so fuck you.
No, I
Oh,
said it's a
you
terrible
did.
game. Just to clarify.
I'm gonna get a cardboard
Look, just
cutout
because
of
just
Hideo
because you had
Kojima.
trouble playing the game doesn't mean that
I'm
it's a
gonna
bad
hide
game.
it in your apartment.
All right, so underwater, I do want to recap. I think it was god awful. Even that needle gun was god awful. Like it was just an unnecessary mechanic of the game. I don't like. They probably could have done so much more with the levels if they just would have taken that crap.
All you did was point it and shoot at something. Like it was dumb as fuck.
There really wasn't much to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, they pride themselves on making this very stylish looking quick combat system, And then they go to staying stationary in the water and shooting some needles from a first-person point of view. It's like a completely different concept compared to what you're used to in the rest of the game. And I think it totally takes away from the direction they were trying to go with the game.
That was Frank in development. He really, really wanted to do it, so they just threw it in for him anyway. Hey guys, look what I did! You can go underwater and shoot a needle gun. Wow,
Fucking Frank.
That's great, Frank. You're gonna use it, right? I worked really hard. It's like, do we really have to? It's like, dude, it's the boss's nephew. Just do it. Just do that.
So you're saying the water levels are a product of nepotism? I'd believe it.
I have to admit, I think the water levels didn't need to be there, but I didn't find them that difficult or frustrating.
I didn't say they were difficult,
but
a waste of my time?
Okay.
Definitely.
Super annoying? Sure.
I kind of liked the idea of the ghost ship, but when we got to the ghost ship, that's when I started to stop, and maybe the immersion was broken because I got that splash page with the new controls to swim, and I'm like, why am I here? I was in the castle, then I went into the courtyard. Now there's a ghost ship.
I'm on a boat.
What? How is what?
This is the 3D version of Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh my god!
No, that would probably be much better anyway.
I think they did that.
Really?
Yeah, I think there is a No, it's Maximo.
Huh.
Oh.
The Maximo games are the 3D version of Super Ghouls and Ghosts. It's the same character. Because if you lose all of his armor, you're in the heart-shaped...
But his name was Arthur.
Yeah.
Not Maximo.
Yeah, it's the spiritual successor or whatever.
Dante!
It's still the same idea. Like, you can get, the gold armor
I got
and everything.
you. Yeah, I'm just being a dick.
Oh, actually, let's talk about the boss battles.
Let's.
Yeah. Should we do a least favorite and most favorite, or?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Least favorite was fighting Mundus at the end.
Which version of them?
Any of them. Honestly,
that was another concept. Getting back to the whole plane thing and the underwater thing.
Gameplay
the whole
change.
flying through the air and shooting lasers.
yeah, that
thing.
was fucking stupid. It was dumb.
You spend this whole game acquiring all these abilities and learning these stylish moves,
and then you don't get
And
to
at the
use
very end,
them.
no.
Yeah.
You're just flying around and boop, boop, bloop, bloop, bloop. Oh, a rock. Bloop, 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 bloop. Oh, another rock. Oh, watch all these circle symbols. Now
I
you're
think
gonna...
you played Asteroids.
Oh, son of a bitch.
totally caught me off guard. And I beat this game before, and I didn't fucking remember any of that. And I was just like, wait, what?
As soon as I saw how big Mundus was, I was like, oh crap. Because I was already off put by the whole, splash screen mechanics, and I'm like, oh Jesus. It's just gonna again, and it's one of those things where I just sat there and pressed the fire button, moved once or twice, and then went on to the next thing, which was just like, hey, you had all these cool weapons like Harry was saying, and you don't get to use them. You just have to sorry.
No, I was going to say I just found that was pretty dumb. Kind of for that, it's like I spent all this time building up these weapons, making them the way I want to, and now my arsenal is complete, and I don't get to use shit when it comes to dealing with the last boss fight of this entire game. And it's like, why are you making me do something new? It's like I could already fly around and shoot shit, and I was happy with that because then I could just slash with the sword and then shoot him in the face with the shotgun all in one fell swoop. And now I'm just a giant flying demon bat shooting red lasers out of my face.
It's a flaw.
Yeah.
I think it's a flaw. So, Clark, your least favorite was any of the Mundus. What was your favorite?
As much as it pissed me off, I really liked battling the spider the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's honestly, 100%, it's probably out of nostalgia. Even though I don't remember beating the game before, I've played it a ton. I just never think I got past the ghost ship, and I don't think it's necessarily because I was too hard or whatever. It's just I don't think I ever just got there, or I lost interest in the game or something like that. And but fighting that spider kind of brought me back, and I was just like, this is really cool. Also, super hard on normal mode if you're playing the HD version, but brought me back.
Cool. Do you want me to start with least favorite or most favorite?
Least favorite.
Least favorite? That blob thing.
Nightmare?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Nightmare? I hated how within the first part of the battle you would get sucked to the sub-basement of it.
It happened to me, too.
Have to kill all the skulls.
Oh,
Fight
yeah.
an earlier boss. A weaker version of it, of course. But it's just like
Was that with every Nightmare version?
I did it, 3 times.
I never got sucked in until the last one.
I got sucked in the first one and the last one.
I
Oh,
got
no shit.
the first one.
I didn't expect it the first time, and then you're stuck in that like.
I mean, once you do it once, I think in a battle, I think you're immune to it for the rest of the battle. So I would just go and get
Because
it.
it does take a big chunk of his health out. So maybe
It does.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's a
it
good
does.
point.
And you can get health back by doing that too. That helped me out, and actually one of them, he sucked me down. I was at like half health. You go down and
He just sucked you down.
yeah, he did.
I'm sorry.
And
Ralph just started laughing and just like looked at me and was like,
And it was no nightmare. It was a pure dream.
Oh God!
But I think they were just frustrating for the length of time that it took to complete them.
Well, when you compare that to the length of any of the missions, then two, like it, added an extra 4 minutes, which is
Yeah, I
like
know,
an
right?
extra
Yeah.
35% of any other mission time.
yeah, I think my shortest mission time was like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that
It was
was
just like a run. It was just like literally run from point A to point B.
yeah.
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 Back when you're holding that one relic item that ticks away your health.
Yep.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. That was a quick one.
Which that's kind of sorry. I know we're on bosses, but that was kind of another little gripe of mine. Was really like the whole mission you're going to base around, and like the completion time is 2 minutes, and I could see that for maybe like one, but they had a couple of them
there
where it
was
was
several.
Like the time.
I want to
It's-
say there was like 4 or 5 that I
Yeah.
had under like 4 minutes.
yeah. I just found that a little annoying. But getting back to the bosses,
So
I'm
wait, let me do my
He has
favorite boss real
positive.
quick.
no.
Or his
No,
favorite.
no.
Any of the Nello fights. I mean, particularly the first one jumps out at me. And it's more or less, I don't know, it's like fighting the Dark Knight, like almost like an opposite of yourself, which I thought was really kind of cool. And it's like the only boss that's also wielding like a sword against you. But not only that, but the whole music that kicks in just with that boss. It's like heavy on the organs and
Yeah.
everything. It just makes that feel just so epic. And I just felt like in awe every time I started battling with him. That I don't think you get with any of the other bosses, even the final bosses in the game.
Yeah, you got the lava spider, you got the giant chicken, and then you got the blob thing. It's like, yeah, I want to fight like the night guy. Yeah, totally, I understand that. I see it.
What the fuck just happened?
Like
All right,
I feel like
Ralph.
he was kind of agreeing with me, but with a very sarcastic, passive-aggressive undertone to
I
it.
thought I thought he started into an impression. I was like, "Where's this going?" All
I'm a bit the boot.
right, Ralph, what do you got?
Yeah, please, because I want to criticize.
No, you basically took the words out of my mouth. Like,
Oh,
the-
give him back, Harry.
You give him.
the griffin thing was like, the spider I had no nostalgia for, and I guess I played it on the easy mode for the HD version, and I just jumped on his back and just went.
Is that the
I
sound it
jumped.
makes?
I jumped on his back and was like, and he was dead. And it was like, how could this be? Spider, no. Done.
Spot on, Ralph.
Yeah, it's
spot
perfect.
Am I playing
Perfect.
again? I thought we were doing a podcast. Where the fuck did I go?
It was perfect.
No, I did like the whole fact that like the Dark Knight turns out to be like your brother. I
Batman.
thought that was kind of cool. And Nightmare, that was the only one where I was like, I'm tired of fighting this thing. Like, this is stupid. Let's move on. I was like, I really thought there were, for some reason I had it in my mind that there were 20 missions to this game.
23.
Right. So when I got to like 19, I was like, I'm almost done. And then I got to 20, I was like, why is there a 21? What is going on? Nightmare again? Why? Okay, fine. It was like, I was sick of Nightmare. Get out of here. I kind of think it's an uninspiring
Take a
boss.
hike, Nightmare.
Like even the lava scorpion spider, like you remember that. Like
Yeah.
that's a visual, like, that's kind of a fun concept. And even the griffin, it was a fairly unique fight compared to everybody else. But then Nightmare is just this annoying blob with a face. And a
it's
disco ball that comes out of its back because you got to whoop ass on and for it to die. Like what? Who?
I was gonna say it's a very violent game of hide and seek with that eyepiece or whatever that comes out of them.
The disco ball.
Disco ball.
Hide and seek disco ball.
Hold on. So you guys were using the proper strategy for Nightmare, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
The proper.
Where you
I
have
know,
a-
yeah,
so I
hang
guess.
Hold on. No.
And you punch
Because
it.
yeah, okay. So you
You
went to
whoop
the
it.
wall, punched the thing, and then it electrifies it and it
Yeah.
brings the orb out. Okay,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. I didn't think he was that hard.
No.
I really didn't struggle with Nightmare.
I don't know that he was hard. Like, he didn't kill me. It was just like, it was,
Annoying.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's
And the final boss, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm here. Okay, let's do this. And like, okay, I'm doing something different. That's fine. He's back the third time. Whatever. You know, it didn't annoy me the way Nightmare. I was like, oh god, this again.
No, I disagree on that. Moondus was my least favorite, and that's disappointing because that's the one I was looking forward to all game. It's like I just want to take him out, and I couldn't do it the way I wanted to do it. So that instantly just right there made it my least favorite. My favorite, though, my most favorite actually was the Griffon.
Oh, okay.
I just like it seemed a little more interactive instead of just the spider was pretty straightforward, or at least the strategy I found for the spider was pretty straightforward. I used Alistair and I forget which one it was for
Stinger.
the stinger, and just stung him in the face 4 times, and that was pretty much about it.
Wow.
More than 4, but you know that was you could stand there and just do it over and over, and then blup, dead spider.
Yeah, when Harry and I had played it on normal, you had to use a lot more strategy for the spider, which is what brought the nostalgia on originally.
Gotcha.
Because he'll shoot columns of flame and he'll also shoot balls of fire at you, but he'll do it at such a clip that you actually have to run around him in a circle and use the columns to like protect yourself.
Oh, okay.
You can
gotcha.
deflect those back at him, can't you?
What's that?
The balls of fire that he shoots.
I'm not sure.
shit.
I think you can.
You might be able to, because I know with that you have to kill that
The dragon.
dragon thing.
But they tell you that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That'd be interesting.
Could make that boss a lot easier.
I mean, he's easy as shit if you're playing on.
No, I'm saying on the
regular mode.
HD remake normal mode.
Yeah, that was rough.
that could have made that easier, because that was Jesus Christ.
I thought
Jason
you
Bourne.
guys, I thought you guys said that you did play it on easy mode.
Yeah, we played it on normal at first. We're like,
Oh,
oh yeah,
oh,
fuck
yeah.
this, let's play normal.
Got
We
it.
spent an hour and a half playing that.
Game's
and-
more fun on easy. Just generally
Yeah,
speaking.
yeah, it's not as
There wasn't
not
much
as,
tension.
it's
I
less
wasn't
frustrating.
frustrated. You know, it got through to it and through to the end, and it was
It was frustrating though for normal mode. It was just a little bit more management. Like, oh shit, like I need health. Like
right.
I'm about to die. A mannequin could probably take me out, type of deal. Oh, so I totally agree. Actually, about the mechanics of Griffin. I thought it was refreshing.
Yeah.
How you kind of had to like once he's like full bore, has all of his like laser grids and shit out. You are literally like just somersaulting and double jumping through all of these laser grids. What I found really effective for him, since you're only really taking like a single shot at a time, grenade launcher.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
For
yeah?
sure. Oh yeah.
See, with that one, I would pull out Ebony and Ivory. I'd go into my Devil Trigger and then just start blasting away. And usually if I went into Devil Trigger like 3, maybe 4 times was usually enough. And I just jump around, he shoot a laser, pop, 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 shot another laser, jump, pop, 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 pop. So that way kind of like timed it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I like the fact it actually really, really made me move. I couldn't just stand there and swipe at it, which, you know, other bosses did make you do that.
Yeah.
Definitely, but that's just one that I really liked out of the whole group of them.
The Colosseum, like when you fight him the second or third time. No, it's when Mundus kills him afterwards.
Yeah.
That's great because like he has like all of the different things out, and you have to actually go between the 2 levels
Yeah.
to fight him. I thought that was really cool.
I like the Coliseum. Yeah.
Yeah, when you and I got to Griffin the first time, I beat him so quickly that you were like, "Holy shit!" Like you actually commented on it because I was just like, "Boop boop boop," like just like duck and dive and like. I really like that boss fight too. He's up there with the spider. And again, I think the spider is pure nostalgia, but it was actually funner to. I think it was actually more fun to play and fight Griffon.
I think it was funnerist.
Fuck you.
Oh, real quick. Anybody hate those tentacle things that were grabbing you?
Yeah, they're a
In-
pain in the ass.
Yeah, those were really
Yeah,
annoying.
not a
Yeah.
fan.
That whole. No, wait. So maybe because I was playing so fast and it was 4:00 in the morning and I was delirious, but we go into like the mirror world and then we go into like the underworld and everything's organic and there's like a gigantic beating heart. Is that Mundus's heart? Is that the heart of the underworld? What is it? Why didn't we destroy it? We just let it do its thing. Am I crazy?
I mean, I think the heart was actually like dead, and we actually put life into it because that's what opens the door.
We put life into the heart and open. Okay.
Yeah, it was a series of valves and
Yeah.
veins and arteries that you're basically crawling through at the end of the game. It's weird.
I was delirious.
Maybe the heart is the symbolism for his
Love
love
for-
of Trish.
Oh Jesus! Shut the fuck up.
And how his heart grew 3 sizes too big that day.
Big as a house. Heart's huge.
Let's move into graphics.
Graphics.
They were ass.
I thought they were good.
It was all right.
Yeah, I thought they were
Come on,
okay.
okay, I'm
It definitely looked better on the HD remake than the PS2 version. Like
Oh, yeah,
significantly.
absolutely.
Significantly.
kidding.
Though.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Do you know why that is?
Is it because it's in HD?
Yes.
And
Holy
because and is it
shit.
because it's been remade? From what I remember of the actual PS2 game, though, it was pretty well done at the time.
You know, the HD version, I want to say, and I've noticed this with several HD games, is that the cutscenes, they don't hold up as well. Like, they can go into the code of the game and they can change the textures or maybe make those look better, but when it comes to the actual cutscenes, it seems like it's at a lower resolution. At least that's what I picked up on the HD version. Did anybody else see that?
I saw some of the same where the actual in-game gameplay was definitely kicked up. You know, some of the environment had a more detail in it than obviously what the original was able to do. But when it came to those cutscenes, it looked a little different, but not really. There's only so much you can really fix on something like that without just entirely redoing it, not just kind of giving a couple buffs.
Oh, sure. No, I understand that. But yeah, I'm a little bit of an HD snob, so I kind of noticed it. I was like, this doesn't look quite right.
But no, the general look of the game, though, I enjoyed the whole. It's like a medieval Gothic kind of theme going on. I definitely like that. And there were certain things that really jumped out to me. There's that window you first kind of cross when you're early on in the castle. You see the tree blowing and the sky's all orange and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that window.
I do, actually.
I just remember that looking really kind of cool. And it just jumped out at me, especially for like a PS2 era. I think just doing something little like that. It showed like, cool, this is what they can do with this generation of equipment.
Shows a little more detail. Because
Yeah.
they could have just had a tree stagnant out of the window.
They could have just had a Black Knight as well. You know what I mean? Like they could have done anything with that, but I don't know. I don't know. It looked cool. It's such a small little thing, but
It's the little things that count, Harry.
I'd say
Like your dick.
I'd say I like the art style and
fuck you.
the way they did everything. I think Trish kind of looked goofy. Like her character model was a little.
So you're saying Dante's mom looked goofy?
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to get at, man?
Yeah.
He's gonna punch your heart out of your skull.
He's the Terminator.
Uppercut. Just an uppercut.
Put your heart out of your skull. Right. Okay.
I mean, I think the graphics are just better on the HD version, and the original ones looked great for the time, but they don't really age that well. So, did anyone else notice that was playing the HD version how inconsistent that HD version was made? Where it was like, oh, here's square screen, widescreen, square screen, widescreen with certain things.
No, I didn't catch that.
And actually, I had some small screen tearing towards the end of the game as well, where I could see white lines at the bottom of my screen and at the sides. It was a really poorly done port of the first one. And from what I understand, and when I did some research on it, I'm not the only person that had that problem, but I think it's reserved to only the first game. Apparently they had some issues porting it. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I didn't really have a problem with it. I thought it held up okay, and the HD visuals were nice, but it's nothing. You're not going to get wowed by the visuals on one, for sure.
Yeah, it's a nice little bump up from what it was, but it's not really anything to shake its stick at entirely.
Are you done peeing over there?
Stick at.
Now, what do you guys think about the design of the creatures in the game, or the bosses and the general enemies?
I liked what they did for making the actual models of the enemies. I'll be honest, when I came around the corner for the first time, I had a mannequin in my face, so I was like, oh, like gave me a little jump back, and that's actually something to give to the camera work that they did it in too, on the angles, which was annoying, but at the same time, it was well done. It was frustrating, but it was kind of a good frustrating.
When you say the angles, do you know when it was very frustrating? when you're running up a circular staircase.
Yes.
You're trying to keep the angle, and then all of a sudden you're just running right at the wall.
There's perspective flips, and you have to change the direction of the control
Yeah.
stick, and it's like you're going in the door, out the door, in the door, out the door, all that nonsense. Yeah.
So ridiculous.
I have to say that I guess I give Resident Evil, the early Resident Evil games, a pass when it comes to a fixed camera. I'm not sure why, but for this, having the fixed camera, I was like, no. Like I kept pushing the right analog stick. Like, no, come on, I can't see anything. No. It was just hard to go back to a game where an action game like this, I really wanted to be able to turn the camera, and it sucked not being able to.
Well, getting back to the characters like you brought up.
Yeah.
What was your what do you think was the most well done that you noticed out of it? That
I still like the ones with the scissors.
yeah.
The seamstress.
They are. I think they are the best looking enemy.
Yeah. To be honest, I think the first couple of creatures that they introduced in the game were all original and very distinct. Some of the later ones, like those lizard things, and then the things that mutate.
The blades, the
blades.
ones right out of Dino Crisis.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really care for like enemies towards the end of the game. I thought they just looked kind of bland, thrown together. Just
Mm-hmm.
The electric like bat guys. That
that
turned
one was
into
kind of
Dante.
that one was kind of interesting
Yeah.
though.
Like the Phenom thing or Phantom.
Findom, is that the term you're looking for?
No, that's me. That's me, bitch. Don't get it
Phenom.
twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
Keep the fin on straight. Keep the fin on straight.
Now they did use the mannequins for a good portion of the game though, and even
That's
in
true.
late game, you're gonna find them in a ton of areas.
Oh yeah,
and they just come
Yep.
by the buttload.
Yeah, they don't stop spawning.
they're big old filler.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed like the actual character design and the enemy design in the beginning. I think I kind of wish the bosses would have actually changed. Like none of the bosses actually like changed anything except for I feel like Nello Angelo. He changed like some of the colors that were like swirling in his like body. Like he was like I feel like more red towards the beginning and then like really blue towards the end.
And he had new attacks, I think, in the final fight.
Right.
Yeah, he seemed to evolve. The other ones, not so
Yeah,
much.
but they didn't change. Like the bird didn't look more beat up, and the spider became very quickly just a mini boss. I don't know if you noticed that, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah, because there was the one where you had to go and there was like two of them in the one.
the Coliseum,
Yeah.
right outside the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just start to become more and more generic as the game goes on. But the
Mhm.
level does see, and here's the adverse of that is I think the level design towards the end of the game gets more detailed and better. But I think that like it, I wouldn't take anything away from any of the level design. I think it's all really well done. Just everything looks very aesthetically pleasing. It looks like you're in an old castle. I mean, the only thing that actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the only part that I thought was generic was the sewer. That is the same sewer that you'll find in any fucking game that has a sewer.
fucking sewers.
Now, I think maybe a direction they should have gone to make these levels more memorable, because there's a lot of just boom, get from point A to point B,
Right.
in like 8 seconds flat. Maybe they should have cut out some of these extra filler levels, and then they could have also cut down on the duplication of some of these bosses. And I think that would have made each boss more memorable and maybe some of the level design more memorable. But just there's a lot of copy and paste in this game where it just becomes redundancy
Yeah.
at some point.
Well, even with the bosses, it's you fight what like 3 of them 3 times.
Yeah.
Or like 4 of them 3 times.
I know, just cut it down to one big ass boss fight that makes it just super memorable. But instead you're just this again. That's just, I don't know, more of the same.
Yeah.
So are we kind of diagnosing Devil May Cry as a rushed product? And
no,
that
I would say
they
experimental.
copied and paste, throughout. Because that's a very good point. It's like, why fight the spider twice? Why fight the griffin twice? Why fight? I mean, I guess fighting Neo Angelo 3 times. Okay, that one sort of has an arc. But Nightmare 3 times, like the total number of boss fights and the number of bosses. It's like, you're right. Why not just have a giant marionette for the first one and then have the spider, or mix it up a little bit?
So let's talk about some music.
Music.
The music was okay. I like the guitar riffs, but it's pretty standard, like 80s fucking grab your cock and throw the devil horns up, fucking shitty metal music that
You
is
described
like Sega famous for.
every Wednesday night for me. Just grab my dick and throw the horns. Rock out with my cock out, motherfuckers.
I got to admit, the music doesn't really leave an impression with me.
That's
No.
shocking. You're like our music guy. You always have the longest segment in music. It's surprising to me that you don't have more to say about it.
I mean, if
And it's
if
okay.
the
You don't
tone-
have to just
Right.
make content for
No,
it. I mean,
no,
yes,
I know.
it's
I mean,
pretty generic music.
It fits the tone. I think it's acceptable. I'm not gonna buy the soundtrack and listen to it in my spare time or anything. But I did like the gothic themes, like Harry touched on earlier, and like I said, like in that first area, there's a bit of and I thought that was gonna lead somewhere. Like it seemed like the choir was louder based on where you were within the room, and I was like, oh, maybe eventually we'll come to like a cathedral kind of a thing, but that didn't come to fruition. So I liked some of that, and the setting of the castle and having either organs or a choir was fitting, and I liked that, but the other stuff, it made sense, fit the game, suited it, but I can't really say much.
Yeah, there's nothing groundbreaking here in the music, I don't think.
I'm going to be the one that really supports the music in this game because I really liked it. I
Nothing wrong with
actually
that.
own the soundtracks to most of the Devil May Cry games. I like that heavy metal. It just seems like an appropriate type of music to be playing when you're battling like hordes of dudes with your sword and your trench coat.
I like the music that pops up when you're battling enemies. Like when it
Yes,
just
okay,
runs out and
maybe
then it
not
kicks
so
up.
much the music when you're just wandering around.
Yeah,
but
okay.
that gung ho music that's like really fast paced when
When you're in
actually
the
fighting.
action, you got some shit going
like
on.
I'm not like dissing it. I'm just saying it's
no,
like
we're not taking it as dissing it. It's just more that it's not, at least on my end, where I like the stuff like what Harry's saying, where it does get, a little more, it starts kicking up and it does get some of the excitement, but it's also not anything that I'm going to get overly excited about. It's just I kick that in and, it gets you in the mood a little bit. It's like, all right, I'm going to shoot some shit in the face where it should have a face.
Get you in the mood to grab your dick and put the horns out.
Yeah.
yeah, like it's
Woo!
I've never heard that about anything.
it's all very fitting for it.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's anything like amazingly remarkable about it.
I think
I think
the
it's
organ music is on that level that I think is just really good. But that's a personal preference. I like organ music. It just
Organs
sounds
are cool, man.
and not in the sense of like the type of music. It just sounds. It usually like when you use organs in music in a video game, it's usually to signal something epic. And I just get that feeling every time I hear organs in a game like that.
My favorite's liver.
I fucking hate Steve.
God.
Moving on to final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
I'll start.
Harry,
I'm
why
gonna-
don't you start?
I'm going to be super quick about it. I like a lot of things about this game, but I think further games in the franchise do it much better. But you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's a very concise final thought. Beautiful, Harry. Mr. Clock.
Like my eyes.
Ew.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Stop making everything about your fucking looks. That didn't turn out in another podcast better, did it?
Moving on.
Oh, no. It's just like the anal beads. Start.
Fucking somebody else start talking.
You know what? I'll go. Unless you're ready.
Go for it.
I think that you can't really have like a popcorn game, like you can have a popcorn movie, like a blockbuster or whatever. But it's clear to me that they knew exactly what they were making, and I think that they completed their vision. So essentially, Devil May Cry is not like a video game as art, like you would say. It's just it's a fun. Guys, you're killing me.
Harry, no, okay, hold on. Harry always does this. He's like, I'm going to say my piece, and then I'm just going to, like, slowly turn pages. Why don't you wait in between?
I stopped. That's why.
Do it now. We're off.
I thought you were teasing me about calling it art. Devil May Cry.
Hold on, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
that's right.
Did you get to the page that you need?
Yeah, it's right here. But I gotta write it.
Well, turn the page. It's not high art, but for it being like hack and slash, disconnect your brain a little bit, have some fun, play this game. I don't think it's terrible. It's not going to win any awards with me in terms of greatest game ever, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
I feel like for the type of game that they put out when they weren't even thinking about making this game in the first place. It's good enough. It kept my attention. I did have fun playing through it. Again, where it's not going to be anything that I'm going to rant and rave about, but it at least, even just playing, because I haven't played the others, just replaying it, maybe I'll take a look at them again. But that's pretty much about it. I didn't cry, so that was good. Clockman, what you got?
All right, for my final thoughts, I think it's a staple franchise. I think this is a good showing for its first entry into what you can expect from the rest of the franchise. Story gets a little bit better, the acting gets a little bit better, and the gameplay gets much, much better. And I really think the gameplay is what sets this game up. You know, I think it does still hold that this is a classic PS2 franchise. And I think it still holds that.
All right, gentlemen, the time is upon us. The score.
The score.
Ralph, what's your score?
I'm going to give it a 75%.
Oh, 75% from Ralph. Mr. Harry, what you got up your sleeve?
I'm going to give it a 6.5, which is above Max Payne 3, but below Parasite Eve.
Oh, can't pull up to the Eve.
Ooh, actually, shit. I'm sorry. Below Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, well, at least you're specific on it. Good job. I would give this a B. I had enough fun playing with it to get that, but story and anything else, no, so that's preventing it from going any higher. But actual content and enjoyment, yeah, it's a B. I dig it. Arbitrary Clark, what you got?
I'm going to give this 3 devil stars out of just 3 out of 4 fragments for the blue.
3 devil stars out of 3 force fragmented.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mouthful.
Yep.
Say that 3 times fast.
It's almost like an improper fraction.
It is. It is improper.
Beautiful.
It would make your math teacher cry.
So remember, guys, you can always leave us questions on the Facebook page. We try to put that up far enough in advance so we can get some from you. None this week. That's okay. We still love you, but
Just a little less.
A little bit.
I want to answer questions.
Yeah.
Then also remember, you can leave us some iTunes reviews, so we will read your iTunes reviews on here as well. We do not have any of those either this week. Again, let's see. Harry may cry. Good job, everybody. I hope you feel good about yourselves. No.
Great. Now Ralph's crying.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So next on deck, we have the classic Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
I know some people are pretty excited about that. Yeah, exactly.
Every time I think of this game, I immediately think of the music.
Oh,
I
no,
absolutely
no, no,
love
no.
them.
Cool. Well,
No.
all right, great. So be ready. Be prepared for that. Watch your brains. And with that, thank you again for joining us for another exciting adventure of Super Fun Game Review Podcast. Go! Take care, everybody.
Wiener.
Game over. Game over. Game over. Game over. Game over.
Thanks for listening to Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go. Stay up to date on our Facebook at facebook.com/superfunpodcast.